Hi students, my name is Vivek. I am lecturer in biology. Today I am going to explain you about natural history. Okay, a branch of biology which is concerned with the natural history is known as ecology. Okay, today's our topic is ecology. Okay, ecology is a subject which studies the interaction among organism between the organism and its physical environment. Okay, ecology is a subject which studies the interaction among organism between the organism and its physical environment. This is the ecology. Okay, now the ecology is the word derived from the Greek. Ecology is the word derived from the Greek, that is oikos. Okay, in Greek it is known as house. Now the ecology, to study the ecology, in biology the ecology is divided into 4 biological organization. To study the ecology there are 4 biological organization. Let me show in flow chart. The first level, whatever you see, if you see from the outside, from the space, if you see the earth, the earth is having different types of ecosystems, and ultimately all these ecosystems together forms the biosphere. So this biosphere is termed as biomes. What you see from the space is biomes, which is outside from the space. From the space, if you observe the earth, it is having the biomes. If you go, if you land on the biosphere, what you can see means you can find lot of communities. If you see in the biome, you can find lot of communities. Next, below to these communities, you can find small groups of populations. Communities having many number of populations, but in communities you can find small groups of populations which are coexisting within it. You can find small groups of population which are coexisting within this. And next, below to this population, organisms are present. What you can find means organisms. These are the 4 divisions which you can observe in the ecology. Ecology is a branch of biology which is concerned with the study of interaction among organisms, between the organisms and their physical environment. Now to study the ecology, it is divided into 4 broad organizations. The first organization is the organismic level. The second one is the population level. Next to the population, what we can find is communities. Next to the communities, what we find is biomes. These biomes includes biospheres as well as ecosystem. Ultimately, the biome is major division of communities which includes a specific type of vegetation which a particular variation in the temperature and rainfall that you can observe in the biomes. Ultimately, biomes includes the ecosystem and together forms the biosphere, is termed as biomes. Now you have got idea. What are the 4 levels of biological organization when we are going to study the ecology? To study the ecology, you have to broadly divide it into 4 levels of organization: organismic level, population level, communities level, and final biomes. Now as we started from the earth, now if you see the earth from the solar systemic point of view, the earth is in the form of a round globe structure where you can find many countries situated here. Now our earth Earth is rotating around the sun. Okay, Earth is rotating around the sun. Now, the Earth which rotates around the sun, okay, and it also tilts in between. Okay, Earth is rotating around the sun and it is also tilting on its axis and it also rotates on its own axis. Okay, Earth has the ability to rotate around the sun and it can also rotate on its own axis and it can even tilt. Due to these actions only, there are various variations which we can observe in this planet Earth. Due to the rotation and tilting of the Earth, there is variation in the temperature and precipitation on the planet Earth. If the Earth didn't rotating around the sun, if it is not rotating on its own axis, then you might have not seen the variation of the climate. Okay, that's why due to the rotation of Earth around the sun, we can feel the summer season, winter season and rainy season. If Earth didn't rotate, it is no chance of finding various types of climatic changes. So ultimately, the seasonal variations on planet Earth due to the rotation of Earth around the sun and rotation on its own axis. Okay, these are the two factors which influence the climatic changes in the Earth. Okay, now to study this, precipitation is major cause. Okay, the temperature variations as well as precipitation. Precipitation means it is in the form of rain. Okay, precipitation is in the form of rain and snow. Okay, when rain falls persistently, there the vegetation increases. When rain is very less, okay, let's see how the rain falls in various latitudes. Okay, as you know, if you divide the earth into two halves, the line which passes middle is known as equatorial line. Okay, now the latitude just above to this is tropical region. Okay, the area which is covering this equatorial region is tropical region. Okay, here the temperature is very high. Why? Because continuous sun rays are falling in these regions. Okay, continuous rainfall is and continuous sunlight is seen in these regions. And next to the temperate, okay, this is the tropical region. Just beyond to this latitude, you can find the temperate region. Okay, first one is equatorial line and tropical region. Beyond this tropical region, you can find the temperate region. And next, what you are going to see is the polar regions. So ultimately, what you can find means the temperature slowly decreases when you move from equatorial to the polar sides. Okay, the first layer, that is tropical region, next is temperate region, and finally you reach to the polar region. Okay, the temperature decreases from tropical region to polar regions. Ultimately, this is what you can observe. Okay, now the movement is quite different. Okay, now temperature is very high in this region, whereas the temperature is decreased in the polar region. Okay, although even in such conditions are also organisms have developed in this region. Okay, even the temperature is high in the polar region, even in the equatorial region, but the temperature is quite opposite in the polar, which is very less. Even in that conditions are also organisms are sustaining. Okay, ultimately this is the variation we can observe. Okay, and the variation in this is also due to temperature, water, soil as well as light. Okay, ultimately there are four, okay, subcategories, okay, which are involved in the physiochemical characteristics of a habitat. Okay, ultimately what you are going to see is the habitat which is present in this earth. Okay, now the habitat is different in one region to the other region. Why this different means due to the temperature. Okay, due to this temperature, the habitat gets some variations in it. Okay, when you move to the polar region, the temperature is very less. When you come to the tropical region, you can find more temperature. Okay, so ultimately the variation in the habitat is due to temperature. Okay, the first major cause is temperature. Okay, next, after the temperature, water also plays the key role. Okay, why? Because in inland, okay, if you see the land, okay, in land you can find some amount of water. Okay, the water is able to, means we can utilize this water, whereas in the oceans what you see is salt water. Okay, so water is also influencing the various organisms to sustain in different habits. Okay, the major one is temperature and second one is water. Okay, next, light also plays the key role. Okay, due to the presence of light only, organisms can move from one place to another place. Okay, so now we are going to discuss what are the main features, okay, which are involved in the variation in the habitat. Okay, we are coming from the organismic level. Next we have seen the communities, populations, and ultimately the biomes. Okay, now next to the light, what you are going to see, the soil. Okay, these are the four major physiochemical factors which influence the variation in the habitat. Okay, these are the four major factors which influence the variation in the habitat. Okay, first one is the temperature, water, light, and soil. Okay, I hope you are all understanding the concept. We are coming from the space and we have seen the earth. Okay, first what we have observed means why the variation in the earth is due to rotation of earth around the sun. Due to the rotation, we have seen the temperature variations, and next, after the temperature variations, we have also observed the water variations. Okay, one thing you have to remember here is the temperature in the tropical deserts. Okay, when you go to the deserts, okay, in tropical desert region, the temperature can grow more than 50 degrees. Okay, the temperature grow more than 50 degrees in the tropical deserts. Okay, and similarly in the tropical region you can also find thermal vents. Okay, in thermal springs and deep hydrothermal vents are also present, which range from more than 100 degrees. Okay, which can range from more than 100 degrees. So ultimately what we are going to discuss means the temperature in the temperate deserts is more than 50 degrees, where the temperature is not at all favorable for living organisms, because as human beings we can't bear the 50 degrees centigrades. Okay, so ultimately a living organism has to sustain happily means it requires some optimal temperature. If the temperature increases, the organismic enzymatic activities decreases. Okay, the kinetics of enzymes plays a key role for the development of organism. If temperature is increased, the organism cannot sustain. So ultimately, even in such harsh conditions are also organisms are developing. Okay, why? Because the organisms have adapted to various climatic conditions. And you can also say how a organism can live in a sea which is having hydrothermal vents. Okay, the temperatures can go more than 100 degrees. Even such conditions are also some archaebacteria are able to sustain. Okay, due to the presence of a special cell wall on it. Okay, and even one more thing which you have to naturally observe is the mango trees which are growing right now at our localities cannot grow. We cannot grow the mango tree in Canada as well as in Germany. Okay, so ultimately what means the mango trees can be grown only in the tropical region. If you are making that plant to grow in beyond the tropical region, then the mango tree won't grow. Why? Because it requires special temperatures. The temperature is very low in temperate regions. That's why the mango tree cannot grow in the Canada as well as Germany. Now, next, the snow leopard, which are habituated to grow particularly in the temperate regions. If you bring the snow leopard to the Kerala, it won't survive. Why? Because the snow leopard requires specific amount of temperature, which is very low in the polar regions. Okay, and one more example. Okay, the fish, tuna fish. Okay, these fishes, which we commonly say as a baigan in Kannada. Okay, these fishes are habituated only to grow in this tropical region. Okay, beyond the tropical regions, these fishes are not found. Okay, ultimately what means, certain temperatures are habituate for few organisms, certain temperatures are habituate for other organisms. So ultimately temperature is in this form. If the temperature is increased, means it decreases the kinetic of enzyme. Okay, ultimately if you increase the temperature, ultimately what happens means the kinetics of the enzyme will be decreased, which you might have observed in the biomolecules chapter. Okay, if the temperature is very less, the enzyme activity will be less. If you bring the temperature to optimal level, then the enzyme activity will be more. If you bring the enzymes to high temperatures, then enzyme activity will not be there. So optimal temperature is very favorable for the organisms to grow. Okay, ultimately these temperatures are in this form. Okay, next, after this, due to this temperature only, and one more thing you have to remember, on the basis of the temperature, okay, how the species can habituate to certain temperatures only, the geographical distribution can be estimated. Okay, the more organisms are habituated to high temperatures, then ultimately what we can say that the geographical distribution is extended. If there is very less, means if the organism is not habituated to the temperature, then geographical distribution will be very small confined. Okay, and one more thing, and we have discussed about the temperature, how the temperatures variations are happening, and next what you are going to observe is water. Okay, ultimately life begins on earth in water itself. Okay, the life ultimately begins in water itself. So the water is main form, which it is very important for living organisms. Without this water, some organisms are habituated, such as in desert plants. Okay, these desert plants as well as in desert animals, where they can use the water in very effective manner, and by utilizing this water, these organisms can make different variations within it. Okay, and water quality is very important for aquatic organisms. Okay, if the water is having more salt, the salinity is increased. Okay, if the water is having more salt, means it increases the salinity. Okay, on the basis of the salinity only you can describe the water quality. Okay, if you see the inland salinity water, okay, if you count the inland salinity water, the salinity is around 5. Okay, inland water salinity is around 5, which is highly favorable for living organisms. Inland water is having only 5, salinity is 5. Okay, salinity is denoted in 1000 parts. Okay, now the salinity of inland water is 5, whereas the salinity of sea water is more than 30 to 35. Okay, the sea water is having more than 30 to 35. So ultimately inland water animals feel difficulty to grow in the sea, that is in the oceans. Okay, ultimately what we can say means the inland waters cannot habituate in sea water. Why? Because the salinity of the sea water is very high. Okay, whereas the salinity of inland water is 5, which is quite favorable. Okay, whereas in such a hyper saline lagoons are having more than a 10 power 2 salinity. So ultimately these conditions are quite not favorable for a normal organisms. Okay, so inland salinity is 5 and sea water is having 30 to 35 and temperature means it can in a hypersaline lagoons it can reach beyond 10 power 2. So ultimately if an organism is able to sustain high temperatures, okay, if a some of the organisms can sustain the high temperatures, such a type of organisms are known as eurythermal. Okay, if an organism is able to grow in high temperatures, such type of organisms are known as eurythermals. Okay, are you getting my words? Okay, eurythermal. Okay, if the organism is able to sustain at high temperatures, then such animals or plants can be termed as eurythermal. Okay, eurythermal means the organisms which can grow, okay, which can tolerate and thrive high temperatures and it can easily grow in high temperatures also. Those organisms are termed as eurythermals. Whereas few organisms which are confined to narrow temperatures, okay, they can only grow at narrow temperatures, they are known as stenothermals. Okay, those are known as stenothermals. Okay, eurythermals means the animals are habituated to grow in high temperatures, whereas stenothermals are animals which are confined to narrow temperatures, means to very low temperatures only. If the temperature increases, these stenothermal animals cannot live. If temperature is decreased, eurythermal animals cannot live. So eurythermals can live in high temperature, stenothermals means very low temperature. Okay, now if the salinity is increased in the oceans, if the salinity is increased in the ocean, salinity is less in the inland water. Okay, if the animals are habituated to high amount of salinity, such kind of organisms are known as euryhalins. We call it as euryhalins. Okay, these organisms can sustain and thrive more salinities, whereas few organisms which cannot sustain more salinity, they require very less amount of salinity. Those are known as stenohalins. Those are known as stenohalins. Okay, these four terms are really important. Okay, in point of ecology, in NEET you are going to get about 3 to 4 objectives. Okay, these terms will definitely help you to enhance your score. Okay, eurythermals, stenothermals, euryhalins, stenohalins. Okay, euryhalins and stenohalins are related to the salinity. Eurythermals and stenothermals are related to the temperature. Thermal is a word which helps to give that it is related to the temperature. Halins is the word is related to salinity. Okay, this is what you are going to understand. Okay, on the basis of the temperature and salinity, ultimately the organisms are able to sustain. Okay, now after this, the light is also a major factor for living organisms. Okay, due to the presence of light only, the organisms can move. Okay, these organisms can feed on forages, and even for the reproduction also, the light plays a key role. Even if a plant want to develop the flower, ultimately it utilizes the sunlight. So light is very important for the living organisms. If the light is very dark, it is not favorable. So ultimately diurnal variation, okay, what we call is diurnal variation. Diurnal variation which enables the organisms to get proper sleep and to wake up. Okay, due to these variations only the organisms can sustain. If the temperature and light is not favorable, the organism's habitat will not be very good. Okay, next soil is also a major factor for the variation in the habitat. Soil is also a major factor for the variation in the habitat. Okay, now the soil is a reserve of minerals as well as which is giving host to many small microorganisms. Okay, a lot of bacteria are present. So ultimately the vegetation is dependent upon the soil. Okay, on the basis of the pH of the soil, okay, as well as the mineral nutritions. Okay, pH of the soil, mineral nutritions, okay, as well as the grain size. Grain size of the soil will enable the organisms to sustain. Okay, ultimately the vegetation is dependent upon these factors: pH of the soil, mineral nutritions present in the soil, and the grain of the soil, and the ability of holding water by the soil. So these are the main factors which are highly influencing the ecology. The major one is the temperature. If the temperature exceeds or decreases, there is quite variation. If the water is based on the salinity, okay, inland water is having only 5, whereas sea water is having 30 to 35. Okay, hypersaline lagoon is having more than 10 square. Okay, and precipitation means rain. It is in the form of snow in polar regions. Okay, in deserts, okay, in deserts what you can find is sand, whereas in the polar regions, okay, whereas in the polar regions what you can find is permafrost. Okay, these are the I think you are not visible. Okay, what we are saying means ultimately the sand is present in the deserts, whereas the polar region is having the permafrost. Okay, this is the main overview and different physical and chemical factors which are influencing the variation in the habitat. Okay, this is the main objectives which we can find. And now let's see how the temperature means how the organisms have adapted to certain variations. Okay, first of all, few animals which have sustained. Okay, due to the temperature variations, some birds which have migrated from the Siberia to India. Okay, the birds which are present in the Siberia, due to the increase in the temperatures, these birds migrated to the India. Okay, the natural, okay, the national park is Keoladeo. Okay, Keoladeo. Okay, national park. Okay, the Keoladeo is a national park which is situated in the Bharatpur of Rajasthan. Keoladeo National Park is Bharatpur in Rajasthan. Here the birds are migrated from Siberia to the Rajasthan, especially to avoid the temperature variations. Okay, next certain microorganisms such as bacteria, during unfavorable conditions these bacteria produce spores. Okay, during unfavorable conditions what bacteria does means they produce the spores. These spores can sustain different temperatures. On the basis of this, spores can sustain different temperatures. Next to this, the plants produce seeds. Okay, what plant produces means the seeds are produced by the plants. Okay, these seeds will give protection to the plant seeds, and it is undergoing hibernation in some organisms. Okay, the seed is ultimately one of the hibernation in some organisms. Okay, few microorganisms produce spores during unfavorable condition. Even plants produce the seeds. These seeds and spores can sustain high temperatures. And one more thing what you can observe means, even some organisms such as bears, okay, these undergoes hibernation. And higher plants also, they may undergo dormancy during certain unfavorable conditions. And one of the best example what we can say is the person who are living in the Delhi, during summer season they will move to the Shimla. Why? Because they have to sustain the great temperatures. To break that barrier, they automatically migrate to the Shimla. In Shimla the temperature is really cool and human beings can sustain. But few organisms such as plants which doesn't have the ability to move, they don't move, they remain there itself, then the organism has to bear the temperature, rain as well as light. Whatever the temperature is given to the plant will absorb. Whatever the light is given to that, the plant will absorb. Whatever the rain is given to that plant, that will absorb. But mammals have evolved certain ability to migrate. Okay, what happens ultimately means the mammals have adapted the ability to maintain the constant body temperature. Okay, ultimately the mammals is having a effective thermoregulatory system. When temperature increases, automatically brain strikes, the temperature has been increased, now you have to decrease the body temperature. So these are regulated within the body, whereas in the plants it is quite not possible for it. So the representation of this variation with a simple graph is given. I will draw the graph. With the help of the graph you will understand how plants and mammals regulate the body temperatures. Okay, first of all what you are going to see is one of the graph which is present in the NCERT text, where let's consider this is internal temperature, this is external temperature, this is external temperature. So automatically what happens means, here we are going to show that external temperature is increasing, here we are going to show the internal temperatures in the graph. Okay, now a specific regulator is present. Okay, here specific regulator is present. With this regulator, a mammal can easily identify the temperature variations and it will make the organisms to migrate, whereas the plants which accepts, okay, ultimately the plants will accept, okay, they will accept the, and they won't, means whatever the temperature increases from the external, okay, if the temperature is exceeded from the external, the organism will take. Even the internal temperature is also same. Okay, what here you are going to understand means the plants and some microorganisms will receive the heat, temperature as well as the rains, water, whatever it is provided by the nature itself. But mammals have the regulation. Okay, the mammals can regulate the temperature. Okay, that's why we call it as partial regulator. Okay, this graph is ultimately enabling you to give the what is the meaning of partial regulator. Okay, here compromise. Okay, here ultimately what happened means whatever the temperature or water you provide, the plants and animals will utilize as the external as same in the internal. But mammals won't accept. If the temperature increases, then mammals will try to avoid the temperature. Okay, as you know, the air conditioners which are frequently used to reduce the temperature. Okay, ultimately what you are going to see means homeostasis. Okay, what you are going to observe is homeostasis, okay, which is maintained by the organisms. With this, the temperature will regulates internal also, as well as if the temperature decreases, body will shivers. Okay, shivering is advantage. Why? Because the mitochondria which will emit the heat and make the body heat. Okay, if the temperature is increased, then automatically you will get lot of sweat. Okay, by removing out the sweat, you can ultimately reduce the body temperature. Okay, so I will end this concept right here, and we will continue further. Okay, thank you for watching.